And it was his first win as well with Grant McPherson, his engineer. So great work, but it's now all about race 5.
25 laps worth of fresh rubber as opposed to the rest of the
So here's the Fuso starting grid for this one, and it's back-to-back pole positions for Craig Lowndes on the Saturday here, and all Red Bull Racing Australia front row. James Courtney, we've heard from him about that incident with Will Davison. Good effort by both the Pro Drive Racing Australia entries of Reynolds and Heimgartner respectively. Then we go to the Pepsi Max crew cars. Will Davison, car looked strong in that race before. Can he make some ground, move up the order? Holdsworth was frustrated to be penalised in that race before. Fabian Coulthard still complaining about that braking issue. We'll discuss that. Tim Slade celebrating Super Cheap Auto's opening of its 300th store. Scotty Pye has made some changes to that car in between races as well, hoping to improve the DJR Team Penske Ford. Moffat and Percat out of row 11. We go to row 12. Caruso beside David Wall, and Tim Blanchard in the Team Cool Drive entry from 13. Just on Scotty Pye, Neil, he said to me before that he couldn't get the car turned in mid-corner and that it was just killing the rear tyres. So hopefully they've been able to improve the 17.
Guys, just talking to Richard Holloway very quickly, Scotty McLaughlin's engineer, and he's not 100% sure, but it could be just a throttle position sensor calibration. So therefore, he's not sure if the mixture of the engine's going to be 100%. So he's not 100% committed on that either. But they've got some little issue there. We'll just have to see how it affects Scotty's car in this race.
Oh, that was really important to understand what could be the issue there. So we'll keep an eye on that one for you, try and keep you up to date with as much information as possible. There are several key battles here to keep an eye on. There's Richard Holloway on the pit wall from Gary Rogers Motorsport. So he's going to call him into position here. Think about the battle that's about to unfold between Lowndes and Whincup and what happened a year ago.
Thank you, my mate. Well done.
Think about Andre Heimgartner. Awesome qualifying performance in position 5. He's never been that far up. He's got to deal with everything that comes with that and the pressure and getting through the first corner and dealing with the hairpin.
And is everything right in throttle terms for McLaughlin? Out of 8. Courtney top of the points ladder. Coulthard has dropped to 5th. All Red Bull front row. Race 5's going. It's a good start by both of them. Not much in it. Lowndes will have the advantage, though, as they go into 1. Reynolds settles into 3rd, ahead of Courtney. Looks like they're through there fairly tidy. That's good work. Now they funnel down to turn 4 for the first time.
Tander made a spot on Heimgartner. Great jump again for Craig Lowndes. As soon as he dropped the clutch, he was away, had fresh air to deal with it instantly. And on the high line round that hairpin at the moment, it's very, very grotty and dirty down there at the moment. So on the inside, it's McLaughlin. On the outside of him is Will Davison and Shane Van Gisbergen in there as well. You hold your breath when they're on cold tyres through that right-hander at 5. But Will prevails on the inside at 6. Look how tight it is with these guys. Listening carefully to the Volvo. No evidence of any issue there with throttle. Lowndes is the race leader with a ½ a second margin at the end of the first lap. David Wall coming off second best there with Tim Blanchard, and Richard Holloway just encouraging Scott McLaughlin that it was a great job in the opening lap. Here's Van Gisbergen. He's having a secondary look on the inside at the hairpin. Not quite. Holdsworth there as well.
Was there a touch between them? It was very close. McLaughlin there. Pye ahead of Bright and Dale Wood. The BJR stablemates down the back straight. Lowndes leading the way from Whincup. Good second sector from Whincup.
So Bright and Wood both operating out of the Brad Jones Racing stable. They're effectively teammates, though they're painted differently. Remember at Winton last year, there was a bit of aggravation between those two guys. So they're battling at the moment for 18th and 19th. Van Gisbergen, that's position 9 we're looking at. Lowndes has checked out. 0.6 of a second. Fastest lap of the race for him so far, 52.6.
Spoke to Chaz Mossop between races too. They were toying with the idea of some changes to the Pepsi Max crew number 6. He said, but tomorrow's the day when you really want the car that's capable of some awesome passing moves. He said the tyres that came off the car were really good at the end of race 4, and he just wished, he hoped for a longer race. He felt he'd be in great shape if that race was 10 laps longer. Riding with the Freightliner entry.
David Reynolds is very quick in the 3rd sector on that lap. He's in position 3 at the moment in the Falcon. Oh, someone's gone straight ahead. Is that Heimgartner? It has been confirmed, and what a shame. Now, he's probably not going to be able to get out of there without assistance, and that'll be a safety car. So the Lexus RCF will be deployed. Dylan Talabani's engineer, and they were so thrilled at the performance. Cam's race control makes the obvious call. The voice of race director Tim Schenken. So there's the Lexus RCF safety car that gets deployed now to bring the field back under control, and Dale Wood's off the road.
Is that a punctured front right?
Can I get some more feedback, mate? What's the car like? Yeah, left front, mate. Left front knackered. Got the hard hit. I've got a flat tyre as well.
That'd be the right front.
So safety car. What a shame. We were talking to Paul Radicic in the break. They were so pleased with Heimgartner's performance. PB in qualifying terms, and has really gelled well with this FGX, with this track. He's bogged. He's not going anywhere there.
In fact, he needs to just turn it off, or he's going to end up with an overheating engine situation as well. So that is a frustration, as you say. Very good job yesterday in practice. Went on with the job today. Here's the replay.
No touch there. I think this is the one we were looking at before. It is a clean pass, it would seem, between the 97 and the 33. Van Gisbergen and McLaughlin. Was there contact? Didn't look like it.
Okay, here's the one that I was looking for, the Heimgartner. So I think, don't know whether the lock brake came first. Yes, it did, is the answer from that view, or whether it actually had 2 wheels on the grass. So sometimes you can find yourself sitting on top of the white line there, or stick the front right on the grass, and it fires you down the road. But he actually had done it on his own at that point, either with with brake pedal treatment or brake bias, perhaps an issue there. And there was a bit of a rough up in the pack as well that involved Percat and Moffat, Dale Wood. And that's possibly the reason why Dale's ended up with that puncture in the front right-hand corner of the car as well, because of what was going on in the background.
Gary Rogers, mate, you guys have worked incredibly hard to get that engine changed. Really unfortunate circumstances for Scotty.
It is, Greg. You know, I mean, look, you've just got to do your best every time. You hate it when things like that happen, but fortunately we've got the bunch of blokes that can do it when they've got to, and you just got to get on with it, put your head down, your bum up, and like you say, it's very unfortunate for Scotty, but, you know, we can sit in the corner and cry. It won't help us. Mind you, I feel like doing it.
You probably do. There's probably a few cliches we could use right now too.
Yeah, I don't think we'll bother with those right this very second.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
It's a band, a crew of racers in there, and it's spot on. They worked enormously hard in that short gap between. And right now McLaughlin sits 9th in the 33. We're behind the Lexus RCF safety car here.
We've almost cleared up we have cleared that car at 4. At the end of this next lap, we're just waiting for my confirmation, 8 kilometres an hour.
Paul Radicic, Andre Heimgartner had done such a sensational job in qualifying. He, really has come to grips with this car at this circuit.
Oh, sure. Look, he has the highs and lows of motor racing, but he was doing awesome. But qualified 5th. First time out with the FGX, so we're really, really pleased. Little mistake there, but these things happened, and great to see him. There's going to be a real talent coming forward.
Thanks for your time, Paul.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Twice World Touring Car Champion Paul Radicic, former V8 Supercar competitor, with a great pedigree in the sport, in open wheelers and in sedan racing, and it's great to have him back in the paddock after an absence of too many years. But one of the things that Paul is providing to Andre as the youngest driver in the field, just 19 years of age, is the sort of coaching that a young guy needs, and so they'll step their way through that. What went wrong, why, how did you deal with it? He's going to have a massive flat spot on that front right tyre, which needs dealing with. So they're taking the opportunity just to put left rear, right front on that car. And didn't see them actually plucking out too much gravel and stuff there, but most of it must have been resolved as he came back out of the gravel trap.
Super slow-mo, lap 1, Will Davison. And that's on Scott McLaughlin. Davison currently sits 7th in the queue. Lights out.
Away from the field car, 888 to holding. He holds.
So quick turnaround here from that incident with Andre Heimgartner, and we are just about ready to go racing once again. Race 5 of the V8 Supercars Championship, the Tyre Power Tasmania SuperSprint. Tomorrow, another practice session, qualifying, and then 84 laps. Pit stops will feature. This is about the sprint to the flag now.
Safety car is in pit lane. Green. Okay, thank you.
So Lowndes controlling them. We're good to go here. Reynolds keeping a close eye on the jump. And the action resumes at Symmons Plains Raceway with the man who's been in dominant form on the Saturday. Pole positions, took out the opening race, being chased by his teammate through that first left-hander. You're a little nervous.
Lowndes played a percentage game there. He didn't have much in the way of reserve when it came to coming off the final corner or getting into the first and second corners. He really pushed the edges there with that car. He was right at the edge of the pitch and there was nothing left, and I held my breath for a moment because it's so easy on tyres that have cooled out to make a little mistake. It's one of the things he's been very good at over the years, is managing cold tyre performance. And this great battle here between Coulthard and Holdsworth on the run to turn 6, and this is where Fabian's been complaining about the behaviour of the car. Behind them, Todd Kelly, then it's Chaz Mostert, Tim Slade, Rick Kelly. Of course, the safety car compresses the field, reignites the aggravation. If you've worked hard to just get a car length or two, get a breather, well, it all goes away, obviously. Back they go into combat once again. Now, Lowndes has also been able to make good ground in this past lap, because I thought that Jamie may have been able to get a better run at him, given that it was a rolling start, because Craig's just been lightning off the line for the standing starts. That looked a bit spooky, didn't it?
I think that was Van Gisbergen, just a light touch there with Will Davison. Davison is fired up here. He's making progress, and he's only a couple of cars behind James Courtney. Courtney is 4th. Davison is 7th, and they had those words between.
Davison's made 2 spots up so far, so he'll be fired up, as you suggest. But he'll also be a bit gun-shy down there at turn 4, based on so when he feels anyone rattling on the rear bumper or sending Morse code messages, be well aware of the potential consequences. This is turn 2. What is impressive with that car at the moment is Will's able to get into the very high percentage throttle angles very quickly off the slow corners. And if you watch carefully with his hands, he's not having to chase the car very much. Having a big zing on the downshift. Look at the amount of steering lock, virtually to the lock stops. But that's basically one clean rollover and turn in. And there's brother Alex. And then he just rolls out of the steering lock and returns it back to a 0 steering angle and then presses on. So that car is behaving really well. And he said that from the minute they dropped it on the road, including in the wet conditions, they haven't really had to do much to it. Changes have been really minor so far this week. Another inside front brake lock for Fabian Coulthard, the Freightliner red and black car there in the background. Can't afford too many of those. Lowndes, meantime, has moved the fastest lap marker to 52.42 seconds. He's got 0.88 of a second margin over Jamie Whincup. Andre Heimgartner, 25th in the field, having ventured off into the gravel up at turn 4. For him, when they had those 2 diagonal cold tyres on the car, the first fright that he would get when he went back to racing speed was the behaviour of the car would be awful. So until they come up to temperature and pressure, the car would be wanting to dart from side to side, and the steering wheel will want to pull in his hands, so it'll take a lap or 2 for that to normalise.
Right, Madison, just looking at Will Davison on screen right now, he's Do you think he might have a little focus or a target just a couple of cars up from where he is?
Yeah, he's definitely got the fire in the belly, and I'd say he's got his eyes forward.
The car, I mean, has been performing so good. We've obviously seen what's the outcome of the altercation in race 4, and obviously no penalty given, but you know, he seemed pretty calm in there, but he's confident with the ability of that Erebus Motorsport V8 at the moment.
Yeah, he's really happy with the practice we've got here the weekend. He keeps talking about consistency. All he wants to do is make sure he redeems something for himself and the team after the previous race.
The window, we just noticed that he's lost the window. Did that come out just after the start of this race?
Yeah, previous lap, it's come out there, obviously, being in the tow down the straight there, a fair bit of influence from dirty air, etc. like that. So, yeah, he just notified us. Windows come out.
So he's getting a bit of free air conditioning.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Cheers, thanks.
From an engineering standpoint, they don't like that, though. So the reason that I was interested in it, I saw it when the interview was taking place, is that that's 2 races in a row where that's come out. And what it does is it creates a massive amount of drag because of the turbulent air and the pressure variation. It's the reason why they all wind the windows up and tape things up and try and keep the shape of the car as clean as they can to minimise drag. So it does make it cooler, but it potentially hurts in a straight line. So there must be something weird going on with the way in which it's mounted.
Watching the battle involving Chas Mostert in 12th, Todd Kelly in 13th, Tim Slade in 14th. We go back here. David Reynolds, is he slowly being reeled in here by the 22 of James Courtney? Courtney's 4th. It's been a good weekend so far for Reynolds in the FGX. He's been in the top 10 in every practice session. And this is good for the Bottle Racing driver. Back with Courtney as he chases.
Pretty critical result for David, because you made mention earlier in the broadcast today that he's on notice effectively, publicly, that, you know, it's a big year, he's got to try and get a result. He's talked about the fact that he's got a smile back on his dial after they changed the bodywork on his car at the Australian Grand Prix. Said he had a smile for a couple of years. But you've got to go back to Sydney Olympic Park winter last year when David was last on the podium. So he'll fight hard for this one, Rusty, to try and make sure that he can keep it glued together. He's very quick, but his highs have been high and his lows have been lows, and he's trying to work on that consistency at the moment. He's 2.5 seconds off the lead of the race. His lap speed's very good, but he's slowly but surely coming into the gun sights here of James Courtney in the Holden Racing Team entry. He's got a little bit of a breather over Garth Tander. And then Tander's got a fair task at the moment as well, because he's got Winterbottom, Davison, Van Gisbergen, McLaughlin, Coulthard in the queue behind him.
Interesting to note the confidence, though, of all of the drivers in that Pro Drive Racing stable with the rear of the car, and particularly the newcomers to get that FGX upgrade. Reynolds at the Grand Prix and now Heimgartner here, both very happy with the way the rear behaves. You ride with Tander in 5th position.
See Garth trail braking there, holding pressure in the brake pedal, but reducing it as he gets a little closer to the corner, keeps the load on the nose, only releases the brake pedal about in the mid-corner, and then just transitions back to the throttle. And here's the second big brake hit. Back to 3rd, turn 6. Sun in the eyes becomes a bit of an issue there at this time of day, and it's a really short shift to 4th. The guys don't chase all of the available engine revs or power there, because if they wind it up to the top end of the power delivery, all they do is wind the car sideways and it hurts the right rear tyre. By sneaking the gear in early, the next gear, 4th gear in this case, they just give the car a little breather and they use the torque of the engine to get around the corner.
Rod Nash just watching on, look a little bit nervous as we watch David Reynolds under a bit of pressure here at the moment from James Courtney. But this weekend, Dave really seems to have a bit of prep in his step.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Grand Prix he was strong, first time out in the car, and obviously still showing he's liking the car. So, yeah, going well. Last race was good, and obviously Courtney's got him under pressure now. So hopefully he needs to keep pedalling harder. But yeah, all good so far.
It's important for Dave Reynolds to have that confidence. He really seems like somebody who thrives with confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, when he sort of, you know, gets it together with that confidence, he's sort of, you know, he's really good. But like, you know, he's just got to keep pedaling hard, and he'll get there.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
So the balance of Courtney's car just a little superior at the moment to David Reynolds. And while we were having a chat to co-owner Rod Nash there. That move was effectively made by James Courtney, who now sets off trying to do something about the 2-second margin to Jamie Whincup. They're looking much stronger in 2015, aren't they, at the Holden Racing team? Great start to the championship in Adelaide, strong run at the Australian Grand Prix. There's the view from David's car. This is turn 6, the sun in the eyes that I made mention of there before. Here comes the short shift, grabs fourth. See, he's chasing that car. So there's a little bit of oversteer in the middle of the corner. So the right rear of the car just sliding, and it just makes him a bit vulnerable. James has got a bit of it going in the low-speed corner. What you've got to do at Simmons Plains is determine where you'd like to take the compromise. I spoke, for example, to Michael Caruso, who's down in 20th at the moment in the number 23 Nissan Motorsport entry. He said, what's up? He said, one half of the track I've got understeer and the other half I've got oversteer. And when I make changes to the car, all I end up doing is trading those. So that's one of the tricks around this place, is how to come up with the correct compromise. That's what Lowndes on screen here at the moment worked so hard at yesterday with his engineer Grant McPherson. He's been here for many times. He knows the secrets to the place. He knows what he's looking for in the feeling in the car. Check the air gaps. To Whincup, to Courtney, to Reynolds, Tander, Winterbottom, Davison, Van Gisbergen, McLaughlin, Coulthard, Holdsworth, Mostert. Bit of a gap then back to Kelly, Slade, then Rick Kelly, Jason Bright, Scott Pine, Nick Percat, James Moffat. Michael Caruso, we join him at the wrong moment. And he's made contact there with David Wall. Right moment, depending on your view. But tough break there for Michael. And we caught it in the coverage. And it's the sort of stuff that goes on down the pack as well, where everyone's just in the battle here, try and do the best they can. So it's a big wide open gap. David Wall's bought into that. Decide to fire down the inside, and they've made contact. And they're hurting this weekend. They haven't quite got the pace that they're looking for in either of those Nissan Motorsport entries. He and James Moffat were talking about it in the gap between the races. So we're riding here with Fabian. This is 6. This is where he's been weak. He's chatting to Phil Keed.
Yeah, copy that, mate. Just keep going. There's 7 to go. You might still be 6 to go. You might still be able to get him. He looks pretty weak.
So he's talking about Scotty McLaughlin in the foreground. He's coming off that corner nice and planted the Volvo. No sliding. Good power down. You see the gap. See what it looks like at the hairpin. Big brake pressure. Nearly 1,300 pounds per square inch is the line pressure at this point. It's all the boys can muster to push that brake pedal.
And they just have red 2. Red 2, please, sir.
That's an anti-roll bar position that Phil Keed's asking for. Very close battle between these two at the moment. Not very much in it, is there? Both hitting their targets, both braking very, very deep. Cars looking pretty square and straight in the way in which they're behaving through the fast left-hander. And that's the intensity that they're dealing with, and at the moment it's giving them a yield of 9th and 10th in this race. And this is the challenge of the game. So from a driver's standpoint, where do you make the time? So you've got to go back tonight and debrief. What are we doing? What are we missing? Why is Craig Lowndes 10 seconds up the road? What do we adjust to fix that? And of course, it's very easy with any of the things that you change on the car to rock it backwards. So you've got to make tiny incremental gain. If you can find, because we're 20 laps into this race, if you can find a 10th a lap, the yield is huge.
And just on your point about the response there as well from McLaughlin a moment ago to the pressure from Coulthard, he found almost 2 tenths on that previous lap. So was able to find a little something from the 33. He ride with Will Davison once again. That's Mark Winterbottom up ahead in 6th.
He's still in that 7th spot. He made his couple of positions early in the game and he's stabilised here. It's Frosty in the foreground, Mark Winterbottom.
We're ready.
Tells you something about how important qualifying is. So consider where Mark Winterbottom qualified and ran in that last race versus this one. And he's just not able to throw a punch at the leaders at the moment. Bit of oversteer on the exit there for Will Davison.
Adrian Burgess, James Courtney doing another really good, consistent job up there. Managed to get that spot back up that he lost at the start. But you've got still one problem, a couple of cars ahead.
You're not wrong there, mate.
I know.
It's first time. Lowndes is checked out. He's doing a great job. You know, he deserves to be winning this race. But look, we're pushing on there. Another podium, hopefully coming up in a couple of laps. We've just got to keep chipping away. finishing where we should be, keep racking the points up. Long way to go.
What's James is sort of saying? You know, where can this little top? Because it's only a little bit. But where can it be? What's he sort of focused on at the moment to try and improve?
Our problem so far this weekend's been getting the turn from where he is now down to the apex at turn 4.
You can see it just there, a fair bit of push to the mid.
We lose a little bit of time there. The rest of the lap we're not too worried about. But it's qualifying. You know, if you don't qualify at the front, you're going to finish where you start. We're finishing hopefully where we started. That's what we can ask for today. We'll tune her up tonight, and we like the long races. We like having a little bit of strategy, soft tyre. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow already.
So are we. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Greg Murphy chatting with Adrian Burgess there, a guy who has so much experience in motor racing, from Formula One to championship success with James Courtney back in 2010. Worked at Dick Johnson Racing's, worked of course with 888, and nowadays heads things up at HRT. They've been talking about that resurgence. It's getting closer, more consistent every time, and Courtney on course for another podium here, the championship leader. Excellent stuff for the guy on the right of your screen to score his first win. Grant McPherson with Craig Lowndes last time out. That partnership, Neil, working very well.
If they keep it rolling as they are at the moment, this is potentially win in his career, 99. It's a big number. He's the top of the tree in the all-time list. And if he gets to the magic ton, which is seemingly within his grasp, that'll be a big moment in the history of the sport. So well done. They've shown pace today. They qualified well. I thought the way they chased the car yesterday, which we tried to track as best we could in the coverage, was really impressive. They worked and worked and worked on it. So he's got a little under 2.4 kilometres now before he stitches up another one. And they smartened that car up, and he hasn't put a foot wrong all day, has he? So he's very, very confident at the moment. He starts just impeccable, beautiful starts, and that really sets the tone. You bolt together great qualifying and then a ripping start, and the rest of the story becomes relatively easy.
You told the story yesterday. If you didn't know motor racing, it may have looked like an ordinary day for Craig Lowndes. It didn't matter, the off-track excursions. It was about perfecting that car, perfecting the 888. And this has been a day of perfection for Lowndes. His 99th career win in this sport. And it's a 1-2 for Repco Racing Australia.
Good start. They've got one more tomorrow.
One more tomorrow would be a very special career tally indeed. Pretty happy Roland Dane there. James Courtney on the podium as well for Holden Racing Team. Trophy wear coming his way. And Reynolds, David Reynolds, he was looking like picking up a third there, but Courtney able to grab him in the last third or so of this race. Tander 5th and Mark Winterbottom 6th.
So there's the boys that grabbed the gold today. They've actually just acknowledged each other. You can see on Craig's shot to his left is Jamie, and we saw Brady Bunch style, everybody waving to everybody. And James Courtney in there as well. So a great result for the teammates. Nice recovery from Whincup, who was a bit quiet in the first race. Car wasn't quite to his satisfaction, but one of the things he's been good at over the years is knuckling down, looking at the weaknesses, extracting the best in a series of little changes, and then getting back on target once again. And for Courtney, another podium. So that's 2 for him today. And David Reynolds wasn't the podium he would have been looking for, but a really good, solid result, and that's important. So he was the best of those from the ProDrive squad, the first of the Fords, position number 4. Tander 5, Winterbottom 6, Davison, Van Gisbergen, McLaughlin. So the good news for Scott is he's finished. They had a few little glitches pre-race after that engine change, but they got some valuable points, and then Fabian Coulthard 10th.
2 poles, 2 wins for Craig Lowndes. It's helped him move up the championship ladder today as well. It's been a tough one for Fabian Coulthard by comparison. He was second on the ladder coming into this round. He now finds himself down the order. It's Courtney on top with 386 points from Lowndes with 358. Tander, 337. Then Whincup, Van Gisbergen, Winterbottom, then Fabian Coulthard. Congratulations from Courtney. As Neil talked about earlier today with Roland Dane in our coverage, he put pen to paper very recently. A new 2-year deal for to stay with this squad, which will become a 3-car operation next year, and Lowndes still showing the way to win.
Congratulations, Craig Lowndes. A perfect day for you. 2 pole positions, 2 wins, your 550th race start in V8 Supercars, and you are on 99 race victories.
Yeah, thanks. Again, it's a credit to the guys. You know, we made an adjustment, obviously, between race 1 and race 2 today. The temperature is closed down or cooled down. The car moved around a little bit more than I'd like, but obviously we still had good drive, and you know, again, to obviously everyone at Red Bull Racing Australia, it's great to have Jamie up. I know he battled pretty hard in that first race, but it's good to have both cars up front.
A day like today, is it just pure sweet victory?
Oh, look, it's always nice to get victories anywhere you go, especially in the competition we've got here in V8 Supercars. It is really tight, really tough, but again, it's a track that I love, track that I enjoy, and really looking forward to tomorrow.
Congratulations, enjoy the champagne on the podium. Jamie Whincup, you weren't happy after the first race this afternoon. Congratulations to be back on the podium again.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this morning wasn't too flash, but car was chalk and cheese better then. But absolutely smoked by Lounsey. He was out of there, so he's doing a great job. So fully deserves a win.
A great day for Red Bull Racing Australia to have a 1-2.
Yeah, any 1-2 is fantastic. So yeah, we're wrapped, and good that finally got a little bit of pace to be on the podium.
Enjoy the podium. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
And James Courtney, you've had a day of complete controversy, but well done to have your second podium of the day.
Yeah, thanks, Rihanna. It's good, solid results for the team. 2 third places. I had to work for it more in the second one, getting past Davey, but no, the car's pretty good. Still couldn't sort out that understeer little drama that we've got, but got all night for the boys to think about it and try and tune something up for tomorrow. And tomorrow's the big one. So,
you'll be happy to know that you're still leading the championship as well.
Oh, bingo! So it's a long way to get yet, Rihanna, but no, it's good.
Congratulations, enjoy the champagne.
Cheers, thanks.
Hey, GT, solid result there in 5th. Your teammate was just saying about how, some good, solid results, but still not quite the ones you're looking for. There's a couple of other Commodores just up the road there who are still doing the job.
Oh, yeah, they are. They were light years in front of everyone last year, so we can see them. So that's a start, and then we'll make the car better for tomorrow. So we've changed the car between race 1 and race 2 there, and the car was better, but we still haven't got exactly what we need. So we go back and spin the propellers and sharpen the pencil and
make a mess of it,
scratch our head and make it slower. But yeah, look, we'll try some stuff for tomorrow. We obviously got practice in the morning, so that's new. Practice Sunday morning, so we'll give that a burn and try a few things. Our car was actually really good on the soft tyre when we tested on Friday, so tomorrow afternoon we'll be all right. We've just got to make sure we qualify somewhere near there.
Yeah, well, you do that.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
Easier said than done. Big day tomorrow, and a lot more required of drivers, teams and cars as we get set for a 200k enduro around Tasmania's Symmons Plains Raceway. Race 5 results, 2 from 2 today for Craig Lowndes. Whincup, it's a Red Bull Racing Australia 1-2, and Courtney on the podium once again. Terrific performance. Davison got to 7th in the end. He drove with some steam, didn't he? He really gave it a good crack. Lee Holdsworth just outside the 10, so too for Chaz Mostert. Best of the Nissans, of course, was Todd Kelly and Andre Heimgartner with that off at turn 4. Time for the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the podium for race 5 of the V8 Supercars Championship here at the Tyre Power Tasmania SuperSprint. Our first place driver, Craig Lowndes for Red Bull Racing Australia. In second place for Red Bull Racing Australia, Jamie Whincup. In third for the Holden Racing team is James Courtney. And representing the winning team from Red Bull Racing Australia, Grant McPherson. To represent the third place trophy, the marketing chairman of Tyre Power, Peter Mays. Our second place trophy comes from V8 Supercars operations manager at Dunlop, Kevin Fitzsimmons. The winning team, the marketing manager of United Petroleum, Claudia Larson. And to present the winner's trophy, David Hughes, marketing chairman, New South Wales, of our naming rights sponsor, Tyre Power. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 V8 Supercars Tyre Power Tasmania Super Sprint Race 5 winners.
Coming into today, it had been a winless streak of 26 races. Bang! Lowndes wins both of them, and it's awesome for his partnership with Grant McPherson. A new partnership this year. 1-2 for the team, and it's helped him vault up the order as well in points terms. Lowndes second on the ladder now, as you can see from the update on the bottom of the screen there a moment ago. Let's take a look at how it unfolded. Late in the afternoon at Symmons Plains, a little bit cooler conditions. Perfection though, the start from both of these guys. David Reynolds was able to jump into third there just ahead of the Holden Racing Team entry of James Courtney. Replay of the start from the 22. And Reynolds was away nicely.
David did a great job to just round him up on the outside and snuck in and grabbed third spot away from James Courtney off the line. And here we are on board with Jamie Whincup. It just had no response at all for the start that Craig Lowndes is getting. Some days you just get it perfectly timed. Today's one of those days for Craig. Problems for Andre Heimgartner. Qualified brilliantly from 5th position, blazing on at the sharp end of the field, then a lock break right here. Front right was where the trouble began for him, and then it carted him off onto the white line, then the grass, then ultimately the gravel. That triggered the Lexus RCF safety car to come out onto the circuit. Further down the order, when a car goes off, everyone gets distracted, so there was some push and shove in that process as well. Dale Wood was a victim of that, ended up with the right front tyre puncture and some damage. You can see the scuff marks in the front right-hand corner of that car. So at the restart, we thought this may have been a great opportunity for Jamie Whincup. Wasn't to be, because Lowndes has got a little edge in setup, or way in which he's driving the car at the moment, and he just bolted. Even at the end of the first lap, he had just on 0.6 of a second as a margin. Down the order though, problems here for Caruso and David Wall. Big gap. David tried to stick the Volvo down the inside, didn't really work out. Meantime, with a margin of 2 seconds plus, Craig Lowndes moves on to career victory number 99.
And at the end, near the end, Courtney was able to move ahead of David Reynolds to claim that final spot on the podium, but it's a pretty happy team from 888 Red Bull Racing Australia who dominate on the Saturday of the Tyre Power Tasmania Super Sprint.